So now I'm at my desk and I have some knitting. So this is a burly gauge yarn or bulky gauge yarn. I've marked out my 4 stitches, and I always like to have a little tool. I always have pens all over my desk, but you want something that's not going to leave a mark. So to count the stitches, I can't see the camera, so we're going to just count this row of the upper bumps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stitches. And then, can you see this? Let me move this up. So here you can see the stitch behind and the stitch that's creating the bump. But I'm not going to count this knit stitch or right side knit stitch because my pin is in it, which means it's not included. So I've got this stitch here, and then I've got this stitch behind it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then I just have this one stitch. So 13 by 2 is 26. I've got 27 rows, and so I'm just going to make a note over here on my pad, 27 rows, garter, and 13 stitches. So that's about right. That's over 4 inches. See, can you see? That's what I wrote. I have a big pad on my desk so I can write on it. So that's about right, because garter is usually 2 to 1. And so this has been blocked, and the reason I like to do this is it doesn't matter how distorted it becomes, because I can stretch it, I can do everything. I have already marked out my 4 inches. Okay, so let's look at stockinette. Let me make sure that I got this in the camera range. I'm just going to take this out. And okay, stockinette. I'm writing that down. Okay, so again, I'm looking at a row going across. This kind of tonally dyed yarn is great because you can choose a color that you like. And again, distortion doesn't matter because I've already measured carefully. So I'm going to count the V's. Actually, this is the row I was going to count. Okay, so I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so I have 14 stitches over 4 inches. And so I actually put my needle tip into each one of those. You could also do it here. But what I find is I go a little cross-eyed when I'm doing this. So sometimes it's helpful to go like this so you know that you're passing every stitch. And again, this is pretty easy because it's at a large gauge. And let's count some rows. So again, I'm going to go 1, 2. Here I usually kind of count up the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. This is my last. So I've got 20 rows. Okay, so there I've taken my gauge. And while we're here, I'll just show you this. I was wondering, like, why do I have this odd yarn tied onto this? And clearly I didn't have a long enough tail. And I tie a half knot for my US needle size. And I use the US because I don't have to tie half. I don't, like 3.25 is pretty hard to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I would say it's a number 8 US needle. And there I've recorded my important gauge information, and can you see that? Now I can divide it by 4 to get my gauge. So this would be 5, 3.5, and 13 would be 3.25, and 27 divided by 4 is 6, and 6.25. I love to do math in my head, but I always double check myself with my calculator. So that's counting gauge.